Good morning, everybody. This is our astrology weather forecast for the 3rd of November, 2025. And the moon continues to cruise through Aries, giving an undercurrent of ease of moving along and of moving forward, starting, not necessarily finishing. And we've got a helpful trine between Mars and Neptune today, which has us putting our energy into loftier pursuits than just feeding ourselves, winning, um, acting on our more animalistic or impulsive natures. We tend to want to go towards and feed things that are more encompassing than just what's going to feed us today or in the short term. It can be very good for putting our energy into things that create beauty or forgiveness or, artistic pursuits. And it's not the kind of weirdness, it's not the difficult aspect between these two that can have us getting ourselves into trouble. The trine is much more straightforward in terms of having some wisdom regarding what those loftier pursuits are and not being too much trapped or at all trapped in self-deception. We do have an in conjunction between Venus and Saturn today that makes it herky-jerky when it comes to getting what we want in terms of our desires. Passions are very much put into Neptune. We have this other side of us, though, that's looking for the fulfillment of our senses. Finding some comfort, support, kind of attention that we want to linger in. We're taking better stock of what that is and what we're willing to do for it. This is a aspect that can have us looking heavily at the prospect of poverty less. And in relationships, it tends to be less in love. We assume that, we'll only get a little bit or a snippet, or we have been trained to live on breadcrumbs, and then that's all we come to expect. And if we get one or two crumbs, then we'll feel good about that and celebrate that, and may not realize that we're missing out on a banquet because of our skewed expectation. So we are looking at what do we deserve, and are we settling for less? And in some cases, maybe we do need to. This is also a way that this in conjunction can function. It can be an over expectation, estimation, and I deserve it all. I'm the king of the hill. Or I am beneath the hill and I deserve nothing. And if I get anything at all, I should be grateful. We do tend to err on one extreme side or the other with an in conjunction like this. And I suspect that most of us are having those kinds of realizations in different areas of our life, where we're fat over here, we're lean over here, and figuring out that some of the things that we have been used to and have been feeling entitled to maybe aren't accurate or available. We're having to reassess some things, and then some other ways that we've been living or loving or expecting or spending that have been in service to the idea that, that's all there is, or survival mode, or breadcrumbs, are just good enough. And then we're always a little bit hungry. We're always, somewhat gripey, dissatisfied, if that's the assumption that we are acting on. So, in some ways we save, and in some ways we become more abundant. That's really the lesson of the day. Alrighty, not a lot else going on. Um, of course, we do have the big boys still uh, it, backing up in Pisces trinage from Uranus to Pluto. The big boys are still doing their dance. So we do have those big societal shifts that we have to negotiate. But for today, it's not an overly complex day in terms of layered aspects. Ample energy to do what's more meaningful, and a willingness to pull back on what's wasteful.